BreakmanX, and welcome to the game show on September 17th, 2025. How's it going, Jack?
It's going pretty good. It's good to be back. Missed you guys last week.
We missed you too. We really did. We held down the fort, but we did miss you. And with that said, I had Jess. How are you doing this evening?
Not too bad.
Nice. But glad to have you back for sure, Jack.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Like I said, I unfortunately had a work thing last week that I couldn't miss, so, here we are.
I gotcha. You should have missed it anyway. No. Just because
as much as I would like to not be gainfully employed any longer.
That's right. Yeah. Who needs money? But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Since 2002, the game show is a celebration of video games and our collective interests mixed with a healthy dose of humor while bringing in our favorite people in the game and movie industries on as guests, except not for tonight. Tonight, again, is old school night. But actually, Jack, since you were here last week, reflecting on the Epos Vox episode, that was a pretty fun one.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Epos was very knowledgeable.
Yes.
He showed off some really cool hardware that he's got. That PlayStation, I was still thinking about that the other day.
Too many knobs. I just want to turn them.
I don't know. I mean, Break, you may know this, but did you look at all at the Superstation? Have you seen that?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I need to look at it. It's been a crazy few weeks for me. Usually this time of the year is not so crazy, but it's like literally been insane.
Yeah, no, the Superstation, definitely look into it. Given how much you love retro games and stuff like that, it's like a Mister mixed with a PlayStation. It looks very interesting. Ooh. It's like the form factor of a Switch Lite. It's really weird. I'm kind of intrigued.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued. I might get one.
What's the difference between that and a Mister?
Right now. I think it's still just another FPGA console. I think it's mainly the form factor more than anything else.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But, yeah.
You know how much I love all that stuff, so it'll probably end up on my table at some point.
Yeah, but I saw that thing earlier this week, and I just kept thinking about that PlayStation that he had that had all the knobs. And I was just like,
there's nothing like turning a bunch of knobs and them actually doing things. But
yeah.
Speaking of retro games, Mike Chi, the living legend, over at RetroTank, figured out some pretty interesting stuff figured out an implement rather. So the NES, I'm sure a lot of our listeners know this. I wasn't too abreast on it, but the NES actually sends illegal colors. Yeah. That's why they had such a hard time figuring out the blue. Everyone argues whether it's purple or whether it's blue. And it depended kind of on how your TV processed the illegal colors. But because the colors are outside of the spec, digital has trouble with them because digital can't really handle outside of spec anything. Whereas, analog, if audio clips or something, you can still sometimes use it. But digital, it's just, a digital fart and can't use it. So... But it's the same thing with these colors. So anyway, he figured out through the RetroTank a way to use expanded gamut along with HDR to actually display these colors. Well, there was a kind of a cool retro RGB covered and some other things, but I feel about the NES and all that. So I maybe I have my RGB one, but I might have to pump in some composite to see how the colors look. Yeah, it's amazing how crazy we get with this stuff. Like back in the day, we just had our toaster and we plugged it in. We're like, we're good. Now it's like, okay, are the colors within the right spec? How can we display these exactly right? Is it this purple or that purple? It actually reminds me of James Cameron on Avatar because he fired the first production designer over the color purple. It wasn't the color purple that he wanted, I guess, exactly. But
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. But yeah, talk about Silksong.
Yeah, Silksong came out while I was gone. Did anybody play it yet?
I have not played it yet. I want to play the first one again.
First. In the middle of replaying the first one at the moment.
All right. Yeah.
But it's on the radar.
That's honestly, I have not played Silk Song yet because I'm still playing through Hollow Knight. I thought I was very close to the end of Silk Song, or not Silk Song. I'm sorry, Hollow Knight. And then I played for about another 20 hours and realized I'm nowhere close. So yeah, I'm trying to get the third Dreamer right now, the last one that was kind of locked off, and so I think I'm getting closer, but I've been doing what I shouldn't be doing and reading up on the endings online, and now I'm like, oh god, what ending do I want to get? And so we'll see. Maybe I'll get into Silk Song next week, and we'll see.
Well, I'm excited to hear what you think of it. It's always fun to hear your take on it. What version are you gonna get?
I just got the normal version of Silk Song. I picked it up on
which?
Steam.
Sorry, which console? I should have specified.
Yeah, I picked it up on Steam.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it through Game Pass, but I was like, I need to give Team Cherry money because this thing is going to be good. Or at least Hollow Knight was really good, and I need to pay them for that too.
I'll probably pick it up on Switch too, just because portable might be my way to play that one. But did you happen to play any of the Kirby, the Kirby was the Forgotten Land update?
No, I didn't. I've got it, or at least I paid for the download.
Why do we do that? I do that too.
Because I have that sickness, the same sickness you do.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna play this thing, and I'm just like, man, I need to finish this other game here first.
Yeah, like I do that all the time. It's like I have to have it, and it's digital, so it's not like in the old days where you had to go out at the store. They may or may not have it. Like I literally, anytime, I want to play that and download it. But no, I have to have it, like just sitting there rotting.
Yeah. Silver lining though, at least my son is playing it, so he's enjoying it.
That's good.
Nice.
Well, I played it. I played it briefly, and the frame rate increase really helps. And I was looking at, kind of off topic, but on the same line, the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for Switch 2.
Some huge announcements this week.
That's pretty cool. And so they redid the textures. I saw a YouTube video comparing them, and they don't really talk about it, but they did a video comparison between the original, the Super Mario 3D All Stars, and then the new one. And the brand new one actually has some substantial, besides the res upgrade and all that, they actually redid the textures, the fonts, and some other things. So I don't know why they don't talk about that stuff. They'll like talk about amiibo support, but then they won't talk about like the thing that I actually care about.
It's Nintendo. They do what they want to. They talk about what they want to talk about.
I know.
It's not other things.
They should say the things I want to hear about, not the things.
I know. They leave it to us to figure all that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I guess that's it. They figure that I'll go on YouTube and watch a comparison video, whereas like I guess the amiibo people, I don't know. I wish I liked amiibos. They look cool.
They're like, people spent money on these. We should probably support them somehow.
There you go. But we talked about this a little bit. Did you want to talk about the Machine Games documentary at all? We talked about it briefly last week, but I bet you have some stuff you want to add.
Yeah, so I don't know if either of you watched it yet or any of the other no-clip documentaries around Machine Games and their history, but they put out some pretty cool stuff. Danny O'Dwyer over there put together some videos about just the origins of Machine Games, and if you don't know who they are, they did like they kind of sprung out of what's the studio? Starbreeze. They kind of sprung out of Starbreeze. They did the original Chronicles of Riddick games, and the Syndicate game from EA back in like 2012, 2013. Some really great games. They spun off on their own after that, and they did the Wolfenstein, the New Blood, Wolfenstein the Old Blood, and they also did Wolfenstein the New Colossus. And I don't know if anybody has played those, but they are pretty amazing. They're very, very ambitious games. You can argue whether or not they're great first-person shooters, but from an ambition standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint, I don't think they're rivaled right now. I'm really waiting for their third game if they ever decide to make it, but we'll kind of see. I'm very hopeful that we get something here pretty soon. We'll see.
Rad.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But anyway, documentaries out there. They do talk about doing a third one, and if you have any kind of reverence for any of those Wolfenstein games, you should go check it out. It's a pretty cool watch.
And it's a well-made doc too.
Yeah.
So fun. I just like watching well-made game content on YouTube, and there's a lot of it now. For a long time, there wasn't, but there's a lot of it now, which is really nice. But it's always nice to see something that's well-made on the subject of something we love. But yeah, any other news? I mean, game news. We're not going to touch the other stuff.
I mean, just a lot of the stuff that came out of that Nintendo Direct, right?
Yeah.
So you talked about the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, the new stuff for Super Mario Wonder, which is pretty cool.
I thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
I thought I just want more Super Mario Wonder stuff. It didn't really say what the Switch 2 stuff is besides the multiplayer, did they?
No, it's just the multiplayer, and I think just new stages more than anything else.
Not 144 frames a second or anything.
No, nothing silly like that. And then I know everybody here is excited to play spend $100 on a plastic piece of equipment to play your Virtual Boy games on the Nintendo Switch.
Did anyone see that one coming?
Not in the way that it came. Like I figured they would do something with the Virtual Boy at some point, but honestly, hey, the only way to play this is to either give us $30 for a cardboard thing or $100 for a plastic thing. I did not see that coming.
See, I would have been okay playing it just on the screen. I don't need the red migraine thing.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. I was really shocked. I know who's really happy about it though is Weezer Jedi. He used to have the Virtual Boy featured in his apartment.
Oh,
so I'm sure he was pretty him and maybe 3 other people were stoked. That's the one thing I never liked. I mean, I've liked most of Nintendo's stuff. I remember seeing that in the game store and being like, and trying it, and I was like, it's just red? It's just red colors.
It is, number one with a bullet when you think about Nintendo failures, without a doubt.
Yeah.
The only way I was ever able to play that thing, I rented them from a Blockbuster a few times, and the only way I was able to be actually comfortable playing it, excuse me, the only way I was actually comfortable playing it was literally laying down on my back on the floor and setting the headset right on my face. That was the only way that it wouldn't either give me a migraine, and of course I couldn't do that forever because the thing just sat there, and if you moved your head slightly to the side, it just fell right off.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought pretty much all game consoles are cool, and that was the first one I saw that I was like, I just have no use for this.
Yeah.
So I was pretty shocked by that. Oh, Jess, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you?
No, I was just agreeing that was just such a random. I mean, who doesn't want to play a video game where you have to lay on the ground and balance it on your head to even kind of comfortably play it?
Right.
That just sounds like good design.
And up until this point, I like that they've recreated the original hardware exactly, but the most uncomfortable thing they've ever made, maybe make it more comfortable, or figure out another way. I don't know, but maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't, not something that I'm interested in. This is a completely random fact that I learned about the Nintendo GameCube golf game recently. You might have already known this, Jack, but they got really serious during the development of that. They went and traveled and they took classes on golf course design from one of the top 3. Did you know this? Mm-mm. One of the top 3 golf course design people in the United States. This is completely a random fact I'm throwing out there, but I read about this week and I was like, I know those were good golf games, but kind of a weird thing. Yeah. So Metroid Prime 4, Motorbike Edition. Hey,
so it's open world, man.
I don't like open world. I love Metroid, but I don't like open world. I don't know.
I just kind of wonder, I wonder if it's going to be like a Gears of War 5 situation where it's kind of you've got the hub world where you're on the motorbike. Then you kind of go into other things. And
that's what some people have said.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I also have been completely wrong about Metroid before, because when they brought it into first person at first, I was like, I don't like that. And then I ended up loving Metroid Prime. So I was wrong on the initial unveil of that. So I could be wrong about this, but I was so excited for Metroid Prime 4, and then I saw that video, and it made me less excited for it.
Yeah. It's just one of those things.
I'll still get it. But
yeah, I'm sure it will be fine when it comes out. And we got a date for it now, so that's good.
That is true. That was exciting. I just I don't know. I don't like Metroid has always been so closed off, and we'll see. I'm sure maybe they'll do great things. I could be completely wrong, and I hope that I am. The DK I can't talk. The DK DLC that looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially going back to the country island.
I like the fact that they do that, and they've got a lot of little callbacks to Donkey Kong Country. Say what you will, is it as good of a game as Bonanza? No, but the Donkey Kong Country games were fun for what they were at the time.
Oh yeah, Try loves them. He talks about them all the time. So I think they're pretty well beloved, aren't they? I mean, I'm one of the weird people that don't really like the country games.
I think it depends on who you talk to. I have a lot of reverence for 1 and 3. I think 2 is straight up trash.
Yeah.
But 1 and 3 are good. But when you compare it to some of the gameplay stuff that was going on at the time, the PlayStation was almost out, the Saturn was almost out. You had Sega doing some crazy stuff with the 32X. There is Donkey Kong Country looks okay next to those because of the rotoscoping, but that was really about it. That's really all I had going for it. From a gameplay perspective, it wasn't breaking any ground or anything.
Well, I rented the original Donkey Kong Country, and I took it home, and I had no fun with it. No, seriously, I played it, and I tried it several times of the weekend. It had such great reviews, and I just had zero fun with it, and I kind of gave up on the series at that point. But it is something I want to revisit because so many people I know love it. But I just don't. And I'm sorry to all you out there. If you want to write into the show, by the way, just give a comment here on our YouTube page. We've got a couple. And throughout the week, by the way, we get several throughout the week when we're not live. And I do always, I answer every single one of those. I try to within 24 hours and usually hit that. But so if you're watching this later, which I know most of you do, please comment there. Maximus Prime said, yes, last episode was fun. The only Wolfenstein game I played, I had fun with them. And DK Country 1 had good music in my opinion, but that might be nostalgia. No, I think the music's good. I've always liked the music. Isn't that David Wise?
It's either Wise or oh my gosh, I can never. It's the fourth time I think on this show that I've said it is.
Wise. We've had this exact same thing.
Kirkhope and Wise. Oh my god, it's either Grant Kirkhope or David Wise.
I'm looking it up right now. Moment of truth. David Wise composed most of the soundtrack. Yes.
Yep.
And it's Google's AI, so it has to be right.
Has to be true.
Absolutely.
No, it is. Wikipedia confirms, and they've got a good source too.
Okay, that's good.
But no, Google's AI is hilarious. Have you seen those where it's asking it if 2020 was 25 years ago, and it'd be like, no, 2025 wasn't 25 years ago because it was 25 years ago. But
awesome.
Yeah.
Super awesome technology marching on. All right, so tonight we've got a pretty fun topic here. Favorite game mechanics. So basically any micro or macro choice or whatever that leads you onto a immediate response, an enjoyable response. And there are so many great ones. I had executive fatigue when trying to when trying to do this. I looked at this list and I was like, oh my god, there are so many great game mechanics from all these years of playing games, I have no idea what to put on my list. And I like kept thinking, and then I was like, this, no, not this one. So then I just was like, okay, I'm just going to put the ones that when I think about it quickly feel really good.
Okay.
So the first one that I'm going to go with, because I've never talked about it on the show before, wink, wink, is is starting with all the weapons in Radiant Silvergun. Because that's a unique thing. I mean, not unique completely, but it's a rare thing in that genre. And I love that you start out with them and that you can, I love the one that goes out like this and is the bombs.
Uh-huh.
So that's a mechanic that I like, that you start with all of the weapons in Radiant Silvergun and the problem solving that comes with it. Yes. Jack, what about you?
I don't know. Like, so when I think about gameplay, like just instant, like gameplay things that make it just exciting and fun to play a game. Like, obviously, I think of like Super Mario Brothers 1. Like, that's like one of my formative gaming experiences. And you know, like jumping on a Goomba, jumping on a turtle, and watching them either flatten out or bounce around across the stage is really exciting.
Yes.
But one of the things that really just like that stuff's really cool, but something that just was like instant, like, oh my god, they can do this in a game, was the warp zone. Like finding the warp zone for the first time, I was like, oh my god, like I can just skip not half the game, but I can skip like a third of the game right here if I want to. Yeah. And so that was really, really cool when I found that out for the first time. And like, yeah, it's not really necessarily a total gameplay mechanic, but it is something that really
works. I think it works.
I think it fits in with kind of the vibe here.
So here's a question: how did you find out about the warp zone?
So I found out about the warp zone when my buddy and I were playing. Well, my buddy and his brother were playing, and we were just messing around on 1-2, and with the platforms that go up and down at the very end, and just hopped over and went on top of the bricks, and then just decided to keep going on top of the bricks.
All on your own.
Yeah.
So for me, I can't remember who it was. I think one of my neighbors, like literally was like, you can like skip levels. And I was like, no way. Like it sounded too good to be true. Cause this is like the early days of gaming. And the fact that you could skip levels just seemed like too good to be true. And I remember, jump over the thing. And I jumped over and I was like blown away. It felt like stealing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like I imagine stealing would feel. I should correct that.
Yeah. I think there was a period of time where I didn't really even know what World 3 looked like because I never went there. Because I either did 2 and didn't do very well in World 2, or I just skipped right to 4.
Yeah, what was that? It was 4, 6, 8, wasn't it? 4, 7, 8.
No, it was 2, 3, 4 for the first warp zone.
But you went to 4,
warp zone, which is.
But then the next warp zone you could go to 7.
Yeah, I never knew that there was a warp zone in World 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you go from World 4 to World 7 and then 8.
Well, you go to 4, and then in 4 you can go to 6, 7, or 8.
Yeah. Wait, can't you go to 7? I mean, wait.
Yeah, I said 6.
Okay. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, there's the one in World 4 where you go above and you go on the mushrooms.
Yep, that's right. I used to like to go to 7 for some reason. I don't know why. But, all right. Jess, bring us into the modern era.
Yes, so I also had a really hard time with this, and it made me realize that I really do not pay attention to gameplay mechanics when I play games. I'm very much there for like story and atmosphere, so this was like really hard for me to come up with. So some of them might be like kind of sort of game mechanics, but one of the things that I really love is being able to like dual wield weapons like daggers and stuff, and like Skyrim is my favorite example of that, because I really like it when I'm playing a game and I feel like I'm just like kind of flying through things. I'm a horrible button masher, I will admit that, and it makes it so much easier. And I went back and I was playing through the remake of Oblivion, and I was like stuck with one-handed weapons, and I'm just like, oh, this takes forever. So I'm a big fan of being able to just kind of like tear through like hordes of enemies with dual weapons.
There is
so
a great
nice.
That's a great feeling. the dual wield. It feels good, no matter what the game. I remember that was when we saw the Halo 2 trailer, or whatever, whenever they showed that off. That was pretty cool. Nice. Okay, so again, there could be 3,500,000 things on my list. But again, when I was going back and thinking of it, I will always remember the first time flying in Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah.
Because I'd read about it. This was, in the old days where you didn't watch videos about everything before you played it. So I'd read about the fact that you could fly, and I'd heard people tell me that you could fly. But like trying to imagine how you would fly in a Super Mario Brothers game when you've never done it before, again, seemed like crazy. Like that seems like it would break the game. It seems just like weird. Like how would it work?
Yeah.
And so I remember getting that leaf, becoming the raccoon, and running, and the sound, and then flying. And it's so much fun. And I thought about this between this and the cape in Super Mario World, and I love both of them. And I honestly, I think flying with the cape is a little bit more fun because you can do this thing.
Oh, but it's so frustrating.
It is, but you could do it okay, and it's like I just get one more coin.
Just pop that P-wing, man. That's all you got to do is just pop the P-wing, and then you don't have to worry about getting speed or anything.
The P-wing was pretty amazing. Getting that was pretty rad. But yeah, that I have to go with the Mario flying in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Nice. Because
it was just so cool. I mean, the fact that you could fly in a Mario game, you were so free all of a sudden.
So my wife was actually playing Super Mario 3 on that little Ambernick handheld that I've got. And like she was just like, how do I fly again? I was like, just run really fast. And she so like literally was kind of like showing her for like 4 minutes. She's like, it's like, am I an idiot? Did I just forget this? I'm like, you're not an idiot. It's just like, you'll figure it out if you don't figure it out in like 5 minutes, you'll figure it out on your own. And then like literally 2 minutes later, she's like, I got it. And she's like flying all over the first level. And I'm like, I knew you'd get it.
It's fine. Such joyous. Joyous. Got a couple.
It really is.
We got a couple write-ins here. Maximus Prime. First one I thought was fun and challenging was the time aspect in Majora's Mask. Also the masks and their abilities. Yes, interesting. Although again, I really struggled to get into that one. 8-Bit Moss Playa says I played Super Mario 1 last night and jumped the level on my retro AVS. Love how sprite work looks in 720p. It does look very delicious. Improved wall climbing mechanics on Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yeah.
Literally game changing. That is true. I was actually just showing my students that a couple classes ago because
it makes it so. I mean, they changed the level design around it, but like it does make that game infinitely, I won't say easier, but more fun to play.
The first one was frustrating because you'd get to the top and it'd be hard to do the.
You do a little hop where you're like hopping, like just trying to like inch up the level.
It's like you're a master ninja, but you can't quite get over that last foot.
Yeah. Yep.
What is the deal? And then Maximus Prime says, "I'm with you, Jess. Let me dual wield crossbows, Bethesda. It is impractical, yes, but I don't care." But yeah, Jess, it is weird not to be able to dual wield weapons in fantasy games. Oh, he mentions a good one too, Max Payne Bullet Time. I thought about that one. Might have to add that. I don't know, because that's a pretty good one. All right,
it's pretty up there.
But you've got a really good one here, Jack.
Yeah, I've got another Remedy one here. So flying in Control. At some point in the middle of Control, you get the ability to fly, and like it's more like hovering than flying. But like by the time you're done with the game, you are flying essentially because you've picked up so many additional powers, or you've leveled it up enough where you can just kind of sit there and just hover and fly wherever you want to go. And like it is one of those things where the game on its own and the powers on their own really aren't that much, but by the time you get to the end game of Control, you really do feel like a superhero, just a complete badass, because you're just flying around, just either just throwing junk at everything, or basically force pulling them to you and then force pushing them away. And it is one of like my favorite things in that game when you get that ability to fly and just kind of hover around or fly. It makes you feel like such a badass, and yeah, it's great.
That game is the most I've ever felt like a Jedi. Like, I mean, I know Jedi, I guess, can't really fly, but all the other stuff. But like a superhero too. Like it's the best. It's the best, in my opinion. It's the best implementation of superhero like powers and the progression and how you get them, and you don't really feel overpowered, but yet it's so much fun to utilize them. So great choice.
Yeah. And I'll give a small shout out to PsyOps too, because I know they were really the first ones that did a lot of that stuff, but Control really honed it in.
It had better control.
Yeah.
It's so bad. So bad. All right, Jess. Save me from myself.
Happily. In a very similar vein to my last one, I also want to talk about, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about Dragon Age, the Orb and Dagger option in Veilguard. Because from a story perspective, I always want to be like a mage. And I think I've talked about this before. But I am not... My impatient ADHD brain gets irritated having to hang back from combat. And so I always wanted to be a mage, but then I would like die because you're supposed to be a little bit more longer range with a mage. So I really liked that you had the Orb and Dagger where I still got to be a mage, but then I also had a dagger, so I could just get in the middle of stuff without there being a huge consequence for me at the end of it. And I have a lot of opinions on things with Veilguard, some things I really like, some things I'm not as much of a fan of. But I have to say, I think it might be the one that I enjoy, like the actual gameplay and like the combat in the most. Like it's just fun to play in a way that Dragon Age doesn't always feel to me personally.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
I get that.
There's definitely a lot more moment-to-moment action or gameplay fun in Veilguard than there's some of the other Dragon Age games.
Cool. All right. The next one I'm going with, again, was one of those things where I was told about it and was trying to figure out like how it would work. But the Double Ship in Galaga. Galaga will always be one of my all-time favorite games, and if I ever see it in any location, I will always play it. I was really bummed when they took the one out of the Papaquinos in Lawrence, because they had one there forever, and it was a good one. It was one of the old ones, but it's gone now. It's gone to that great arcade in the sky. But the Double Ship in Galaga was so cool. The way that you could, and you had to balance it, where you'd have your ship get captured, and then you'd have to not shoot it on the way down. And once you got it, like Jack said previously, you were a badass.
Oh yeah.
And you could just plow through stuff. And then when you lost it, you literally felt like your like arm fell off. Like you were so screwed. And it's so irritating. And then it was a big loss. But I love that risk reward of yes, you will lose an extra life. You'll have definitely a downside of it, but you also get the double shot. So I thought that was a great risk reward. I'm just gonna hit up the comments here a little bit. So Maximus Prime again says Batman Arkham combat system felt great and it was improved with each iteration. In my opinion, that was a really good one. 8-Bit Moss Playa says, do double jumps count? What game first instituted that? Because that mechanic is so prevalent now. Ooh, what was the first double jump? What was it, Jack?
Ghosts and Goblins?
That could be. It seems like it would be.
No, I mean, not Ghosts and Goblins didn't have it. It would have to be Super Ghouls and Ghosts or...
Nope. I looked it up. I cheated.
Okay.
1984 Namco arcade game Dragon Buster.
Oh.
In this game, the player character Clovis could perform a second jump while in the air.
Huh. I don't think I've
never played that game.
It's fun, but it's weird. It's like a side-scrolling RPG action game. It's kind of weird, but I didn't know you could do a double jump in that.
Yep, that's crazy. I want to play that now. A little piece of history. Yeah. Thanks for that question. I learned something new today. Cool.
But
Cool.
so real quick, just expanding on the double ship thing. Like,
Yeah.
so did you ever play Galaga 88 or
Yes.
Galaga 90?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So like doing the 3-ship thing, even cooler.
Even cooler.
And did you ever play any of the old arcade games or Nintendo games, either Moon Cresta or Terra Cresta?
No.
Okay, they kind of had the same mechanic. So Terra Cresta is really interesting. That's on you can get it on the Nintendo if you can find it around. But essentially, what's really cool about the Nintendo version, the arcade version's cool, but on the Nintendo version, they actually let you. It was the same kind of mechanic. Like you get enough power-ups, or you get enough ships, and like you expand. They would actually let you design what your like final form was. And so like, you got to design like how like your shots go out. They let you design like what formation you're in. So like you could make it so your like your ships were in a triangle and you had space between them, so you could actually like dodge shots if you were really good at it. So I recommend just checking it out. It's not a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was just really cool how they kind of just took that idea from Galaga and kind of iterated on it a little bit more.
It's cool. Vic Tokai made it.
Yeah, your friend Vic Tokai.
Yes. They had a couple good games, didn't they?
They had a bunch of Golgo 13 games.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Duke Togo.
Oh, man. All right. Destruction.
Yeah, so my next thing is my next favorite gameplay loop. I don't know how many of you are old arcade fans, but there is something about jumping on the top of a building to destroy it in Rampage World Tour. I love the original Rampage, but it's pretty much jump on a building, punch it, kick it, and eventually it kind of blows up, or dynamite blows it up, something like that. But in Rampage World Tour, the sequel that came out in like 94, 95, somewhere around there, they actually, added a lot of gameplay changes. So like you could actually jump on top of a building and like literally smash it down into the ground. And it was one of the coolest things I thought I could do, because like you're basically just literally leveling the building by just using a gigantic kaiju to smash it to bits. And there was something really, really satisfying about that that really stuck with me for a very long time.
Which one is World Tour?
World Tour is the first arcade game I guess the only arcade game in the 90s, because there's the original and then there was World Tour. They did another home version that was Universal Tour, and that was just on PS1 and N64 if I remember correctly.
Because that was one of the ones I was really disappointed in the NES version.
Yeah, the original Rampage has a terrible NES port. Like the Sega Master System version is way better than the Nintendo version.
The Saturn version of Rampage World Tour got a 3 out of 10 from GameSpot.
I mean, I bet there were probably some gameplay issues with that.
Yeah.
Not to mention some loading issues.
I'm just kind of surprised. But yeah, there's an N64, PS, and PlayStation and Saturn version of the original arcade game. That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Cool. So we can all feel the destruction power.
Yeah, if you can find a copy, it's a fun game. Like I would not recommend spending the time to play through all 100 levels or 150 levels or whatever it is, but it's fun to go play through for like maybe 25, 30 stages. You see what's going on.
Destruction. All right, Jess.
Yeah, so another one that I'm a big fan of, just like in general, is wall jumps. Again, it's that feeling of like being a badass and just being able to, especially when it's like the dual walls and you get to like bounce back and forth.
Yeah,
I always find that super fun. I know Mario has a lot of really fun wall jump ones, and it's in a million games. But I'm always really happy when I'm able to do that.
And it's usually pretty well executed too. I mean, that's one of the things. I think we talked about this one week, but Mario's like this overweight plumber that's somehow like a world-class gymnast.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's fun. Like there's something about the physics and the trajectory and everything and the way he springs that just feels really, really good. There's some other good implementations of it, like Ninja Gaiden on Xbox. Yeah, it's really good. But Mario's my favorite.
Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super Metroid is really frustrating.
Yeah, where you have to kind of like pivot
perfectly
off the wall just a little bit.
Yeah, perfect timing. Although once you get it, it's not too bad. But
it is frustrating when you miss it and you're just like, no,
fall
all the way back down.
Lots of fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario wall jumping is definitely a lot of fun. All right, so again, so many we could have picked. My God, and I'm gonna kick myself. We're gonna have to do another one of these sometime. But the next one that I'm gonna pick is grenading someone in Halo, because there's something extra satisfying about that particular type of death, especially if you can kind of hide it and they're walking towards you. And they blow up and you like see them fly, off. Another fun one is when they're in Blood Gulch and they're in the little base thingy and you throw the grenade down just perfectly and you get them that way. But I just think grenading people in that game, especially, I think it's because of the crazy physics when they die too. It's just a lot of fun, and it's so irritating when it happens to you too. So it's double whammy.
Yep.
But, and I won a prize because I mentioned Halo before Jack.
Yes, you did. And we'll never let you forget about it.
Yes. Yep. Yep. All right. What's your next one?
Yeah. So my next one, again, I'm going to go back to the arcades. Smash TV. If anybody is familiar with Smash TV, or even I would say this counts in also Total Carnage. But Smash TV or Total Carnage, getting the 3-way shot makes you feel indestructible for the 30 seconds or so it lasts. Maybe not even that long, but it is super powerful. It makes this amazing sound effect where it just sounds like you're just rifling through everything coming at you. And for about, like I said, about 10 to 15 seconds or however long it lasts, you feel like you can actually survive for a little bit of time. And it's one of my favorite weapons. Like, there are some cooler weapons, sure, the grenade launcher, the little other grenade launchers, the rocket launcher. What else? I think that's pretty much it for the other weapons. But like, there are some really cool ones, and like the 3-way shot is the king of the hill for me.
King of the hill. Slayer. Okay. No, very cool. That's a good choice too. Smash TV in general, just a lot of fun.
Fantastic. So I'm gonna steal something here real quick. So there was no. So I guess there was some footage, or not footage, but there was a leaked interview with Mark Turmel, one of the guys that designed Smash TV, where he was like from around 2008. Where he was talking about his idea for a third Smash TV, basically like a follow-up to Total Carnage. And it was a 4-player Smash TV like cocktail cabinet.
Oh.
Like for like with like 2008's like Xbox 360 era graphics. I was just like, man, that would have been really cool to do like a 4-player Smash TV.
I would buy that for $1.
I would buy that for $1. Yes. But anyway, what could have been? Sorry.
It could have been really cool. Yeah. Oh, it's too bad. Missed opportunity. Jess, what are you going to pick on this opportunity?
So my next one is actually going to the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. FNAF. And I think that was FNAF. I feel like I gotta say it since Logan isn't here to talk about it. I thought it was really interesting, the whole way that game was set up, in the fact that like you were stuck in place, you couldn't go anywhere, and the monsters were coming to you, and specifically the mechanic of the doors running out of power to stay closed and having to like ration your energy, and it was just really stressful and something that I just feel like Five Nights at Freddy's did really well, of the tension of being stuck and being like, I only have this much battery power to close these doors, and you got to be smart about it. So I thought that was really well done.
Awesome. I've never played FNAF, but I did watch a few YouTube videos with BreakmanX of people playing it.
Yeah. I played the first one, and then I've watched, YouTube people play all of the other ones, and I'm like, I'm kind of into it. I kind of understand the games and the lore, but I'm not like invested enough to know anything about it. And I don't really have a desire to play any of the other games necessarily. But the first one was, it was also just such a like cultural moment. It was this like really simple game, but it became such a huge thing. And I thought a lot of what made it so good was the fact that it was so simple of you just being stuck in one place. And you got to check these cameras and you got to close the doors and you can't run out of the battery power to do it. And it was freaky. I remember playing it, I think at the time I had it on an iPad.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember playing it like alone in the dark, like hunched over, like with like the blanket over me, like playing it on the iPad.
Whoa,
and it
like a
really
movie.
did. But it really did kind of feel like you were like in there because like you had the iPad and like it felt like you were checking like camera. Like it was very, I don't know, it was very atmospheric for what it was. And so it was just kind of cool. And yeah.
That
sounds fun. Sounds fun. I can imagine you like going down. It was scary.
Yeah.
I would.
I used to do that a lot. Oh.
Yeah. I used to hide under my covers with my Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did that. Yeah.
Yep. I did a lot of actually nighttime game playing when I wasn't supposed to. I was pretty good at waiting till my parents were asleep and then sneaking out and playing games. And then eventually I'd get caught, and so I wouldn't do it for a few weeks, and then, it's the best time to play.
I was a very well-behaved child, right? I never got into trouble. And so my parents didn't really keep tabs on me in a lot of ways. And I want to say I was maybe like 8 or 9 when I got like my first TV in my room. And the GameCube was mine. So the GameCube lived in my room. And my TV had a headphone jack in it.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
There you go.
And so I would just wait till they went
Sneaky
to sleep.
time.
And then it's like, just put the headphones in and they would never know.
Never know.
Jess, why
so
are you,
I did
why are
that
you so
quite a bit.
tired when we go to school in the morning?
You know?
No, Animal Crossing's
rough
not going to
night.
play itself.
Right?
Truly, that's what it was. It was either that or Harvest Moon. Totally not worth losing sleep over, but I did it anyway.
That's always worth losing
Yes,
sleep
a
over.
moment
You gotta pay Tom
enjoyed.
Nook.
We just talked about him. It just loves Tom Nook.
Yeah, absolutely. Little capitalist.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so this next one, Jess and I were talking before the show, and she was like, someone's got to pick it. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go with it, because it's such a cool one. The portal gun is such a cool... That whole game is like a masterclass in design. In so many ways, even writing, everything. But the game mechanic of that is so great. It's so simple, yet can be applied in so many situations. And applied so well. And I thought I was wearing... I wore it yesterday. I wore my Portal shirt yesterday, actually. The Penny Arcade one where Gabe has the portal at the top and the bottom of the slide, so he's sliding forever while the kids watch. But no, but that was a game. I'll always remember playing that when it came out. And again, thinking about it, the description didn't sound too interesting to me, weirdly enough, but once I played it, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it certainly takes a little bit of time to figure out, but I will say there's something really, really incredible about the portal gun and just that game in general, because they signpost things a little bit in the beginning, but there are points in that game where like you figure things out and you're like, did I just break the game? Am I a genius? Did I really figure that out? And like, there's something really satisfying about that.
Yeah, no, it is. You do feel like that, and then you're like, oh no, this is the way I was supposed to go.
Yeah.
But the cake is a lie. Just such a great. That's an all-time great game. I need to figure out how to get my students to play that somehow. All right, Jack.
Yeah. So
don't kill anybody.
Well, too bad. My last one for this kind of this little part is fatalities in Mortal Kombat. Any Mortal Kombat game. I don't care which one it is. There was something so incredibly satisfying. Like, I like fighting games a lot. You know me. Like, I'll play pretty much any fighting game, especially Street Fighter or Tekken. But Mortal Kombat, when you beat an opponent, you don't just beat them, you get a chance to just murder them. Now, granted, I think murder's wrong.
What Jack always wanted.
Yeah. Murder's wrong in real life, but in a video game, man, it is really satisfying and it's really humiliating when you get to do that to somebody where you just beat. It's like, hey, I beat you. Now I'm just going to tear off your arms and beat you to death with them. So there you go.
Well, what's funny or maybe ironic is that I'm pretty much a pacifist in like real life, but I love Mortal Kombat. I that was a game I was not supposed to play. And again, was able to. Mortal Kombat 2 also was not supposed to be able to play. Played it, and loved it. And I remember, I don't know why I decided my grandma needed to see Scorpion's fatality, but I'd brought my system to her house when I was staying there, and I was like it was like almost. I was like, Grandma, you gotta see this, and he like finish him, takes off his mask and like fries him with the thing, and she's like, oh my god. But I was like, you gotta. My mind was like, you just gotta see how cool this is. She didn't think it was as cool as I did.
Yeah, probably not. But that is one game. So my parents would never buy me Mortal Kombat. There's like, well, there's no way we're spending our money on that game for you. And that held true for Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. But damned if I didn't just rent Mortal Kombat 2 every single chance I got for the Super Nintendo, because I love that game so much.
Yeah, I don't know how I finagled it, because it definitely wasn't from my parents. I don't know. I really wanted to play it, though, and I figured out ways. Didn't steal it.
See, that's so funny to me, too, because it always just makes me think of my dad. I love my dad to death. He did not have a great grasp on, like, what is appropriate for children.
Oh, I remember you telling me about movies.
Yeah. I was like, I can't tell you how many, like, R-rated horror movies I saw as a very young child, because my dad's like, this is cool, and she'll like it. And, like, I was always fine. Like, it never was, like, a problem. But, like, my dad loved video games, and so if there was, like, a rated M video game that he thought was cool and I wanted to play, he'd like, hell yeah, let's do it. So it's always really funny, because I'm just like, I definitely played it as a kid, and I'm pretty sure my dad rented it. Like, I'm pretty sure we played it together.
And you're fine.
And the answer was always just, don't tell Mom. As long as she doesn't know, we're fine.
So I noticed, this has actually been a thing for a while, but I have written papers on violence in video games forever. Like so many different ones from high school all through college, various psychology classes. And the data, I would always conclude the data shows that video games do not cause violent behavior. But like the APA and the American Psychological Association would always say, despite the data, that they do cause violence in video games. And I was really cool to see their new little quote that they have on video game violence. I just have to read this. I would have loved to have had this for any of those papers. So, the APA, American Psychological Association President Sandra L. Schulman, PhD, says, violence is a complex social problem that likely stems from many factors and warrant attention from researchers, policymakers, and the public. Attributing violence to video gaming is not scientifically sound and draws attention away from other factors such as a history of violence, which we know from the research is a major predictor of future violence. So finally, they catch up to the data. So officially now. Okay. That's just a big win. It's like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, that was such a
absolutely.
huge thing growing up. And I never felt that the data pointed that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I saw something on Blue Sky the other day. It was like, hey, guess what? Video games sell better in, like, Japan and a lot of parts of Europe than they do in the United States. Guess what? They don't have the same violence issues that we do here. I wonder if it's the guns.
Ooh,
Maybe.
You're starting to debate, Jack.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, I pretty much agree with you on everything. So if you're mad at Jack, you're mad at me. But yeah, the violence thing is so frustrating, and I'm so glad that the APA finally has officially changed. All right, we got some comments in here. 8-bit Moss Playa, the Hyper System on Dodonpachi Daijo. I haven't played as much Donpachi as other shmups. I need to play that one a little bit more, and I might agree with you. Similarly, combo system is Street Fighter 2, and 8-bit Most Play A moment enjoyed is worth losing sleep over. Excellent. I agree. A moment enjoyed is never wasted. And J Rod says, sounds like a great dad. So you can tell him.
Absolutely.
You can tell him. Argument can be made that it prevents violence by providing a healthy outlet. Oh, yes, the APA, that same article. I didn't want to read the entire article, but the article goes into that. It actually does say that evidence actually suggests exactly what you're saying because it's an outlet, awesome. Which is interesting. They used to say the opposite. When I took was it social psych way back in 1935, they talked about how like cathartic experiences, video games, music, etc. actually created more violence. And I was like, that sounds ridiculous to me. And now again, the data shows the opposite of that. So, cathartic experiences are good.
It's good to hear.
My dad always did a really good job too of like explaining that like this is media and it's fiction and it's fake, and so this kind of stuff is okay in this, but it's not in real life. And if I ever had like questions or if anything scared me or anything, like we would always talk about it. So it's not. There's also something to be said for the way that people are introduced to these kind of things and the dialogues that surround them. Of like, if you just sit a kid in front of a bunch of violent stuff and then don't ever have a conversation about it, that's probably going to do something to them.
Well, you're going to be exposed to violence no matter what. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
School at very least. Walking home from school. I mean, violence is just unfortunately a part of our society. So, but yeah, I wish I could go back in time and tell a couple of my teachers what they said. But yeah, I can't even remember which was the last thing we talked about. We talked about the portal gun. We talked about fatalities. Did we talk? We didn't talk about Jess.
We didn't talk about. Yep. We gotta get Jess.
All right, we'll go into Jess.
Yes. So my next one has to do a little bit more with like multiplayer games, which is the implementation of proximity chat.
Yeah.
The big one for me, I think, is Phasmophobia.
Oh.
Right. This idea that like, as a group, you're going in to be these paranormal hunters, and you split up, and so you can hear people when you're closer to them, but if you're farther away, you can't. And so it gets really stressful if like you're on opposite sides of the house and something starts hunting, and then you don't know if people are alive or not, and then it can be really funny because you can just vaguely hear somebody scream as they get murdered by a ghost while you're on the other side, and then you're like freaking out. You're like, oh god, I'm next. But obviously there's a million games. Can't wait. But there's so many games that use it, and I think it's just such a cool idea, especially in that multiplayer realm, of the idea of the closer you are to somebody, you can hear them, and then when you're farther apart, you can't. And the stress that can instill in you. So,
great choice.
Yep.
Great choice. Man, it's so hard to move on from this because there are so many great game mechanics over the years. But we are going to move on to gameplay loops, which Jack has defined for us as 15 seconds to 2-3 minute sequences. And again, there's a lot of great ones here too.
Yeah. So think of like what we were talking about, just like little like gameplays, like snippets, like little nuggets that are just kind of instant feedback. And these are like a little more like, it could be a stage, or it could be just something that like is a little more than like just a instant feedback kind of thing.
I thought of these as like the level or the part of a game that I would play just for fun, even if I didn't want to like play the entire game.
Yep.
So, and again, there's so many great ones of this that it was literally almost picking some at random that I really liked, because it's, I mean, so many. And we've never talked about this subject ever on the show. This best game mechanic type. And we talk about game mechanics, but we've never like really broken it down and said our favorites. So it's fun to have a chance to do that. All right, so my first one, again, Galaga again. But the bonus stage in Galaga was always such an exciting thing to get because you can't die in it. So it's literally just about racking up score and kind of attacking. But you want to do well at it, so you get extra lives and all that. So there's also like a bit of anxiety, like you miss that one freaking ship and you're like, You know, it's really, really frustrating to do so. And you like, if you're doing it in the arcade, there's that really great tactical feedback when you're hitting that button over and over again, and it's really loud.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you miss one, you hit it really loud.
But,
maybe it's just
when
me.
when you do hit them all and you get that little victory little music. No, the
yeah. I know what you mean.
That one is like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I did something. Like I won the game. Nope, next level.
Yep. And it'll also always remind me of war games.
Yeah. Yep.
But all right.
No, that's a great one.
Yes.
Yeah. So mine, kind of a little bit different. I kind of went with the moment-to-moment gunfights against the Covenant in Halo. So a little bit kind of what you were talking about, like throwing grenades against the Covenant, but just expanding on that a little bit. Like I'm talking about, like, just the act of, you know, using the pistol, firing off a few shots, throwing a grenade, reloading, getting in behind cover, or finding something out. Just the way that Bungie made the combat in the first Halo game flow so well. And they did it in 3 too. I mean, honestly, all the Halo games, but there was something about it that was just magical, where like literally it was just like run up to an elite, pop them with a few pistol shots, pistol whip them, and then they're dead, and then move on to the next one, see what the next one is. And they gave you so many different little combat puzzles to play with that I would say anytime you're fighting, like the Flood is a completely different story, don't get me started on that, but anything where you're just like just moment to moment, here's a bunch of dudes coming at you, here's a bunch of Covenant coming at you, figure out the best way to take them out and don't get yourself killed, was my favorite part of that game. It's one of the reasons that I still love that game to this day, is because of how many different ways they let you kind of solve that combat puzzle, if you will.
Yeah, it was really great. I still remember when you described it to me. And anyone who didn't play like Xbox, you're like, you haven't played Halo, have you? But no, it is really great. It is a puzzle, and it made me play the Halo music while you said it.
There you go.
Very exciting. Great victory. All right, Jess.
Yeah, so I feel like in my brain, like I kind of compute this as a little bit different. And so I think of like the gameplay loops of like games that have very similar things that you do over and over again. And they tend to be the games that I like fall down rabbit holes into. And then it's been like 12 hours and I'm still playing them. But the first thing that popped in my head, like with the word loop, was the PT Silent Hill. The going around in circles through the same hallway over and over and over again. And like things are different and like slightly creepier each time. So that was like the first thing that popped into my head when I was like game loop. It was like the literal looping of PT.
Gotcha. That's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Didn't they just remake that? PT?
I mean, not PT, but they remade Silent Hill 2.
They did remake that. I thought that PT, I must be wrong.
There was some of the stuff I've seen around Resident Evil Requiem is saying that it looks like it's probably the spiritual successor to PT.
That could be.
We'll see.
It was a year ago. A full remake of PT can be found within Dreams and is available for both PS4 and PS5. That's what I thought.
Of course somebody did that. Of course they did.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I remember seeing it at some point. Okay. So I am crazy, but I'm not crazy because of that reason. Okay. So one that I really like is the surfing in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there's actually a couple of them that I could go with. I like
which one?
I'm probably gonna have to go with the NES one because okay. I like the double button push and you jump and do the thing, and you kill them with one hit. Although sewer surfing in Turtles in Time could also be up there and probably is better, to be honest. But nostalgia with the NES one, I'll have to go with that one.
Sewer Surfing's number one in my book, only because of the music. That is
the music is so good.
That is S tier Turtles music.
Have you heard the Overclock remix album of that game? Okay,
yes, I have.
There's a SNES ROM hack that you can play on the SNES with the Overclock remix soundtrack.
Oh no.
And it's pretty good. And it's full
Awesome.
quality and everything. So
That's amazing.
it's pretty rad. Imagine going back in time and doing that, like back in the old days.
That'd be crazy.
That would have blown my little wee mind. All right, your turn.
Yeah, so my next one is the zombie fights in Ravenholm in Half-Life 2. You mentioned the gravity gun and just kind of expanding on that. Like, again, I'm a big fan of combat puzzles in first-person shooters or any kind of like adventure action game. And the combat puzzles in Half-Life 2 in Ravenholm specifically are so much fun. Like, it's like, hey, here's a whole bunch of saw blades we just left in the middle of this shack. Uh-oh, there's some zombies coming at you. Guess you're going to have to use that gravity gun to figure this out. And like between that and the other booby traps that Father Grigori sits around, like there are some really cool, like just improvised weaponry you can find. Like throwing paint cans at head crab zombies is a lot of fun. And then when they start getting some of the more, the newer versions of the head crab zombies, like the infected ones and the poison ones and the fast ones, it really turns things from just like oh, hey, this is kind of fun and creepy and like, look at this little physics playground we made to, oh God, I'm running out of shotgun shells real fast. Is there a saw blade around for me to throw this thing?
Yes.
And it's like I said, the overall stage is a little longer than just a few minutes, but just the overall, like I said, combat loop puzzles they put in there are just so much fun in that section.
It is very exciting. So,
yeah.
Good choice. All right, Jess.
I think my next one is going to be Pac-Man. It's one of my favorite, like, classic games. And specifically, when you get the opportunity to, like, chase after the ghosts. It's just such a dopamine hit, and I really love that game. And that's one of the ones that, because the levels are so short, that I will just play for like hours without even realizing it, because it's just a constant like hit of that dopamine of like moving on to the next one and moving on to the next one. And it's a great time.
Also really addictive.
Yeah. There's something really satisfying about that chance when you get the power pellet and you're like, aha, the tables have turned and now it's my turn.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they like resurrect almost immediately and they like destroy you very fast. But you feel powerful for a short amount of time. I immediately regret putting this gum in my mouth. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
All right, I fixed that problem. Okay, so another great gameplay loop. The first level of Shinobi 3 is so much fun, and I like to sometimes just play this level and then shut it off, even though the whole game is great. But that first level, running through the forest, the music's great. You know, jump up and throw like 1,000 shurikens at them. And then like you run in the cave and it gets all dark and spooky, and then the waterfalls come. It's just such a great introduction to that. It might be my favorite like Shinobi level, like of all the Shinobis. I really like that level.
Huh.
The most frustrating Shinobi level is that last or second to last Shinobi 3 level where the precise jumps. I beat that game for the first time finally this last summer or maybe before. And it was so irritating, that last part.
I am still making my way through Art of Vengeance, but I'm close to the end, and I will say there are some platforming challenges towards the end game, but I will agree with you, there is nothing nearly as frustrating as the last level in Shinobi 3.
Good.
It is a nightmare. It is just a monster.
Yes. I need to play Art of Vengeance. Have you played Ragebound?
It's really good. I played a little bit. I have not stuck with it as much. I'm actually really enjoying Art of Vengeance more than Ragebound.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Interesting.
Yeah, it's Shinobi is less of it's not a Metroidvania per se. It's much more straightforward, but there are like some little nooks and crannies, and you can backtrack in the game and go back to earlier levels to find some hidden doodads.
Which one has the better music?
Oh. I'm probably going to say Ragebound has better music. There are some really cool throwbacks as you get into the later stages of Art of Vengeance, but but Ragebound has just overall, I think, a stronger soundtrack.
Cool. I'm excited to play. I've played Ragebound. I haven't played much of Shinobi.
You should play it. I think
plan.
you will really enjoy it.
I'll plan to. I like the ninjas. All right. Your turn.
Yeah. So my next one, I'm going to stick with Half-Life. Half-Life Alyx. So Break or Jess, have either of you played Half-Life Alyx?
Yes.
Have you beaten Half-Life Alyx?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Jeff is...
It's been quite a while, though, and I had to do it at someone else's house.
Yeah, I get it. Jeff was probably one of the coolest gameplay experiences of that entire game. Like don't get me wrong, like using the glove to like grab things out of the air and chuck it back at dudes was really cool. And then just the moment to moment, you know, when I think one of the real big successes of Half-Life Alyx was actually like having to reload the gun manually, and then like for like the shotgun, you had to like flip the damn thing up and then make sure it was still working. And you know, that goes for just about anything else you had to use. But
I just also not like that great at VR in general.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. But anyway, so the Jeff sequence. Jeff is kind of like a mini boss or a constant threat in one of the levels. Like it's literally named Jeff. And what's kind of cool about it is like some of the like Five Nights at Freddy games or some games like that. There are like he has no eyes, like his head is split open. It's like a mouth. Just think like something out of The Thing, and that's Jeff. But anyway, he can only hear you. So he hears your footsteps, he hears everything, he hears your breathing, in fact. And so one of the weird parts, or one of the interesting parts of that level, which is in VR, I mean, because all of Half-Life Alyx is in VR, you literally have to walk around with one of your hands over your mouth so you can cover your breathing as you like walk right behind him and try to just disguise what you're doing. It is very, very creepy. I felt really stupid because I had the VR headset on and I've got my other hand over my mouth as I'm talking, or as I'm walking through this thing. But I'm also like scared shitless because I know if I move my hand down or if I have to grab something out of the environment, he's gonna hear it and just like come trucking over and just, you know, kill me in one hit. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of horror games. I like horror games. I like Resident Evil. I like a lot of those games, but it was one of the only experiences up there with like Soma where I really felt like, oh my God, this is harrowing.
Such a great use of that word too.
Yeah.
Perfect descriptor. I'm going to go into the chat here for a second before we move on. Great choice with Alex. Where did we leave off there? Oh, yeah. Proc's chat is great from Maximus Prime. J-Rod said, I kind of remember the big stink back in the day they made over Mortal Kombat. All those old fogies at the time and hearings trying to ban it. Yeah. And that would never happen
still
again.
In Congress.
Yeah. It would never happen again. They would never blame video games for violence ever again. Maximus Prime, I got to get them points break. Yep. 8-bit Moss player mentions quick time events, God of War, Metal Gear Rising, etc. And I like QTEs if they're done well. I do.
I agree. They can bring a game down so fast though if they're done incorrectly though. Like,
yes.
If it's like an instant fail or you make the window too small, like you don't have to make it like kiddie, like child's play, but like you've got to do it well.
Yes. Oh, and J-Rod just
it's got to be.
Go ahead. I got excited.
I was going to say it's got to be at a moment too that you're kind of at least kind of expecting one to come.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing is more irritating than like if you're watching like a cutscene and then all of a sudden there's a quick time event and you're like, I wasn't
Which
playing.
button is it?
Yeah. I like the what is it, the Dark House series, or it's not Dark House, the Dark Pictures series. I like those, like and like the Quarry, a lot of stuff from Supermassive. Like those games are really cool, but I mean, I have to literally I'm like gripping the controller, white knuckling it the entire time because I know there's going to be a quick time event somewhere in there. I'm going to miss it, and I'm just like almost restart the entire game because I'm like, no, I didn't mean to miss that. And the next thing I know, 3 of my characters are dead.
I feel you. So 8-Bit Moss Player mentions anytime Lucas shows up in RE7, dude is twisted.
Yeah.
And J-Rod says Code Veronica will always be one of my top Resident Evil games on the Dreamcast. Me too. Talked about it several times.
Yeah, it's so weird that one, like they did the remakes for 2, 3, and even 4, but they never did anything with Code Veronica.
They better, because BreakmanX and I are going to replay it.
Even at the time, they were like, hey, this is the real Resident Evil sequel. Like 3 is just kind of this thing we're doing because we have this deal with PlayStation. But like Code Veronica is where the story is continuing. Like, okay, cool. That's the one I'm getting.
Yeah. I love Code Veronica.
It was really great. Yes.
Still do. On the Dreamcast. All right. I got lost in the comments again. It's Jess's turn. Yes. Alex. We already did Alex.
Yeah, so my next one I think is going to be the first Animal Crossing game on GameCube. And specifically when you would get like quests from the villagers.
Yeah.
Because it was like one of the only things that happened in that game that really felt like there was parameters to it, right? And you weren't just like running around doing whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
And it really did feel like the sleep of you would talk to somebody and they would give you something or ask you to go get something, and then you had to like run around the map and find the other person, and then you had to run around the map and find the person that you talked to first to finish out the quest. And it was just very repetitive. And because I was a dirty cheater on the GameCube and would do everything in a day and then go and change the calendar so that I could play the next day, like it got to be this very repetitive type of quest thing. And I feel like Animal Crossing kind of lost some of the charm with those quests as the games have gone on. They felt like such, and this could totally be nostalgia, so I will admit that, but like they felt like more of a frequent thing and a more important thing in that first game than they have in like subsequent games. And I think partially it's because it was harder, because nobody was ever where they were supposed to be. And I remember just like running around those maps trying to chase people down and like not being able to find them. Yeah. So that was a big one for me.
There
is something about like that opening section of any Animal Crossing game where it's just like, hey, go figure out all the cool stuff you can do, and also, hey, we're new characters that you just get to know and hopefully enjoy as you make.
Yes. And if you don't, you hit them with your bug net until they get angry and they move out of your village.
Yeah. Normal neighbor stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Conflict resolution right there.
Yes. It solves everything. All right. So I'm going to skip down a couple and then I'll come back to this one in a minute. But I just added it. But one that has been amazing since I was a kid, the star in Mario.
Oh.
Like, how cool is it to get the superstar and just like run through stuff? Like, that was always so cool. And then in Mario 3, you all of a sudden he's again starting with that's when he begins his gymnastic career, and he can do the flips, like really cool, like two super tucked in somersault flips. Was really cool. So, but yeah, running through everything. And I think I mentioned this, but when we first got a Nintendo, my brother thought that all the power-ups were would kill you. So we were trying to avoid all of them for quite a while. And I think I accidentally touched one. It it was a mushroom or something that made me big. It's like, oh man, I wonder what the star does. And I found out.
Yeah, it's kind of off topic, but you know what really always strikes me, you think about Super Mario 3 and some of the things they did in that game, they have power-ups that are just on one level or two levels. You have that Kuribo shoe where that thing was awesome, but it's only one level of the game. Or even the Hammer Brothers suit, it's one world, and that's about it. That's all you get it. If you're lucky enough even to get it on a Toad House or something.
It made it feel really special though.
Yeah.
And then the Kuribo shoe, even though you only get it on one level, it felt like it was more pervasive than that. It felt like you got it more, even though you didn't. But yeah, it's a good example for sure. Nintendo like really I'm sure they still do, but back in the day they would really pay for trips and all sorts of experiences. That's what I was learning about with that golf thing. Like they paid for those employees to go to the United States to learn all this stuff about golf from like the Masters. And for Mario 3, I know they went to Disneyland to go through the different worlds. And that's why Mario 3 has different worlds, because it's like
that's really cool.
Fantasyland and all that, in Disneyland.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Cool stuff. All right, Jack.
Yeah.
Your turn.
All right. Yeah, so my next one, I decided we kind of start off on a little bit of an indie track. Return of the Obra Dinn. Have either of you played that game?
No, but that's an awesome name.
Oh, you need to play that game. It's like, I want to say it's either 10 or $15 on Steam, and I think it's on Switch as well. But think of it as a detective game. You are an insurance adjuster. This is like 16th century England, and the Obra Dinn returns from its trip, and you have to go onto the.
I watched a video about this game.
Yeah, you have to go onto the ship and basically figure out what exactly happened, so you know basically which of the crew members get their insurance paid out, their insurance claims paid to their families, and which ones don't, based on what happened and what they did. And it's really the interest. Like, it sounds really dumb, but what's really cool is you have a pocket watch with you that allows you to travel back in time. And so as you make your way through the ship, you see little vignettes of what happened in the past. So you have to start piecing the puzzle together about what exactly happened, what the entire timeline is, where certain people died, how they died, did they kill somebody else? It's like a whodunit, but it's like, hey, there's like 30 people on this ship and you got to figure out what the hell happened to all of them. It is incredibly cool. If you like detective games, if you like supernatural thrillers, if you like Cthulhu stuff, it is very, very cool. I highly recommend it. It looks like it's a game that was built on like the original Macintosh, because it's just black and white. It looks like a HyperCard game almost. But I highly recommend it. It'll take you maybe 6-7 hours to play through. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's one of my favorite games I've played on the Steam Deck. It was like, I think, my game of the year, like maybe 2021, 2022. It's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, I've seen a video on it. It does look really cool.
Yeah,
I know I'd heard that
It's
name
been on
before.
my radar for a while. Yeah.
If you have free time and $15, I highly recommend you play it. It's so cool.
I have one of those two things. I wish I had more free time. All right, Jess, hit us up.
So your mention of the star in Mario made me think of what my favorite one is, which is Yoshi.
Yeah.
Anytime I can get Yoshi, I am just so happy, because you're riding a dinosaur. Yoshi's one of my favorite Mario characters. He's adorable. And he does make the levels easier, but even if he made it harder, it would still be my favorite thing, because I get to have a dinosaur. So I think Yoshi's probably my favorite of those loops that you can get into in like the traditional Mario games.
Yeah, Yoshi rocks. And I like in the Super Mario World how when you get on it, it plays the bongos. Like,
yeah,
what a cool little... It's like you're hippie. You become a hippie instantly when you're with Yoshi. The world's a little
He's just
chiller,
a cool
man.
little dude.
Yeah, he is cool.
Yoshi's a cool little dinosaur. I mean, I've got him back here.
I remember hearing that you could ride a dinosaur in Super Mario World without, I hadn't seen it yet, and I was like imagining like this giant like T-Rex or something. And then I saw it and it was like, But no, it's awesome. Like, Yoshi is so rad. It was perfectly balanced for that game. And all the
You only had to wait another 20 years to actually do that with a real dinosaur. Or a real dinosaur.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. BreakmanX loved that part. Alrighty. So we're on to Yoshi coming back. I'm gonna go with Green Hill Zone. That first level of Sonic is so much fun to play, and it's like such a classic level, and I can just breeze through it. It's super relaxing. The music's great. It's chill, and sometimes, I'll just throw it on just to have fun.
Yep. It's a great first level in the pantheon of first levels. Teaches you how to play, very memorable and fast.
Might be my favorite level of the game, actually.
Yeah.
Up there. Up there. All right, Jack, your turn.
It's all downhill from there.
It's all downhill. Yeah. No, I like the whole game. I do. I like all the worlds except for the underwater one.
Nobody likes it.
And I've never been a huge fan of the casino ones either, although they're okay.
Oh, man, those are the best ones. The
This
Casino
one
Night Zone. Yeah.
We've had this discussion before.
We have. The Casino Night Zone rules. You cannot tell me any differently.
Some people say incorrect things. All right, your turn.
All right. So I'll go with another classic, Resident Evil 4. I love Resident Evil 4. It's my favorite Resident Evil of all of them. I will say, yeah, what are you buying? What are you selling?
It's a classic Jack Burton line.
But there is something about when you get through the entire game and you go back and you do a new game plus and you get to keep all of your weapon upgrades, you get to keep everything you built out through the entire game, and you're just tromping through the village. It's like, hey, I'm Leon and I have this gigantic sniper rifle and I've got this like 100-round toting shotgun, this combat shotgun. I don't care about anything. I mean, just rolling through the village with that thing through the first, like, I don't know, few sequences, and even until you get to the castle.
What up, villager?
There is something just, it's kind of like that power fantasy that's just really, really cool, and you don't see a whole bunch in, well, I mean, you do see it a lot in video games, but after, like, running for your life the first time you're going through that game, and then getting to come back there, and you're just like, all right, check this out. Yeah, I have a shotgun and I've got bubble gum and I'm all out of bubble gum, and you just get to tear through the entire village without giving a damn about anything.
They live.
Mm-hmm. Well, I butchered it, but yes, just about.
I gotcha. Yeah, I know what you're going for. All right, Jess, your last one, please.
Yes. So my last one is actually a game that I waited too long to start playing, but have recently gotten into and is now my kind of default when I've got like 5 minutes to spare, is Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
Specifically when you get to go into like the levels and like you're going to save more followers because you have sacrificed all of your followers, and so now you need to replenish. So I think that's a really fun mechanic. There's so many like little loops that you can do in that game, but my favorite is being able to go in, fight all the monsters, and get a couple new cult members to worship you.
I love when you talk about cult members. It's the second show in a row.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
It's a very fun game.
For sure. All right. Well, I guess we'll go through our last couple. Jack and I are quick before we're here at the end of the show. But SSX, that was like the PS2 game that I liked for quite a while there at the beginning.
Original SSX or Tricky?
Well, I like Tricky better, but I'm going with the original just because that first playthrough of that on the PS2, because I played like Cool Borders 2 especially, and that was pretty good, but this really brought snowboarding games to a whole new level. And there's just there's a zen to it, and the snow sounded really great. You could really slice through it. The lines that the character said were so dumb, but everything else was really, really great. And I will always love SSX. And after Tricky, it was all downhill from there. 3's okay, but it was all downhill after Tricky.
It was always all downhill.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to. We'll move on from that. That was perfect.
No,
that's a perfect line.
I agree, though. SSX, especially Tricky, was phenomenal. I still remember. I think I was still in college when it came out, but seeing like all the promo videos were like, hey, we got Oliver Platt to do a voice for this. I was like, he's a legitimate theater guy. All right, they're pulling in some names. He was Luther.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh
so like, it's like Oliver Platt. Boy, they got a whole bunch of names.
Should have had Anthony Hopkins do Mac or something. It would be great.
But yeah, no, that's Tricky is one of my favorite games. You're right. The courses are just amazing, and when you powered up your guys the right way or just any way, it made them a lot more fun. The trick system was great.
Still have my saves. And that was one of the few games, one of the games that was best on PS2 that gen too, because the controller.
Oh yeah, the controller made that game.
Yep.
My final gameplay loop that I really want to talk about is Hades. I know Hades 2 is coming out here in a few weeks, actually 1 week. But Hades, any combat room, like you just walk in there, it's like, all right, again, combat puzzles. I'm all about combat puzzles, and just finding the way, like no matter which weapon you had, you got a chance to figure out, how do I get through these things as quickly as possible? How do I I need to get through this little sequence without taking any damage because it's a roguelike, right? So you only have one life to get through the entire game, and there are very limited heals. There are very limited ways to get any health back. So just trying to figure out how to make that perfect run and that perfect sequence, even if you don't maybe necessarily have the greatest boons on that run, was always a fun puzzle to get through. And it's something that kept me coming back. Like I finished the game. I got to the end of the game. I beat Hades, I think like 6 or 7 times. I didn't see the end of the game, but I got enough through to kind of know that I was satisfied with where I got. I highly recommend that game. I cannot wait. I picked up Hades 2 in early access, but I haven't touched it since I just first booted it up. I am so excited for it to reach 1.0 so I can play some more, because my son has been playing it in early access and he's just like, Dad, you got to see this thing that came out. I'm like, I'm waiting.
Cool. Awesome. Well, this has been a really fun show. It's been really fun to hear what your picks were and why they were. But with that said, Jack, what would you like to say before we head off into the sunset?
I'm very, very excited. I just found out right before we went on air, my Sunset Riders arcade OST LP is on its way. So
nice.
I now
have a lot of letters.
Yeah, I have like a week to go find an actual record player because I don't own one. But I wanted to get this LP for Sunset Riders so bad because it's one of my favorite soundtracks.
Get ready. That is a rabbit hole.
I can only imagine.
LP players. I got into that. It's been a long time now, but it's like if you ask anyone that's into that a question, just be ready. Get a pad and pencil ready, because it's like there's so much.
I think more than anything else, it's probably just going to be a showpiece that probably sits behind me here somewhere.
No, I feel you.
But like, man, I really want to hear that in like crisp analog digital sound, if that makes sense.
Yeah. 8-Bit Must Play says, thanks to everyone. Appreciate the opportunity for some levity. We appreciate it too.
Yeah.
In this world, I'll just put it that way. It's really important that we take a moment, have some fun, talk to friends, people close to us, and just have a good time. Talk about some video games. Jess, what would you like to say before we head off?
Yeah, so something I forgot to mention at the top of the show is that this past weekend I finished my first successful one-shot TTRPG game with a group of friends, Logan included. And it was a lot of fun. We're very busy people, so we're only doing it like once a month, and they're all like one-shots for the most part. And next month, I am going to be the DM. So I'm currently... Yeah, I'm currently in the process of like building out what I want. DM. What I want it to be, so I'm super stoked about that. So yeah.
That's awesome.
You're gonna be a great DM. That's exciting.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm excited for the week as well. It has been an insane few months. They're like are tearing down all the buildings on campus, so like nothing works, and it's a very different thing this time of year. But I love fall. I love Halloween. We've had our Halloween decorations up since September 1st.
Nice.
And I can't wait for spooky season, for the weather to get a little bit cooler and to watch tons of spooky movies and just that whole shebang, because it's my time of year.
Do we need to do? I'm throwing out some ideas here live. Do we need to do a spooky playthrough or something like that of some sort?
We should. What should we play
October?
through?
I don't know. Like Oberdin would probably be a pretty good one.
Okay.
I can literally just sit in the back and cackle as things happen and watch you guys try to puzzle it out. Or we can do something else.
No, it would be fun for you to sit back and cackle.
Yeah.
We have to have the cackle cam. The close-up of the cackling.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Awesome. That'd be fun. All right. Well, I'll see you all next week. Same time on the game show.